Unholy Longsword 5. Vorpal. Upon a roll of a natural 20, followed by a successful roll to confirm a critical hit, the weapon severs the opponent's head from its body. Well, I'm glad he didn't get to use that, huh? That would have been unfortunate.
You won't survive me. Die! Endure this!
A dear guest on my doorstep. Please do come in. You have been long awaited.
I can feel the madness radiating from you. What has changed?
Nothing at all.
I feel like that's a lie.
There will be no more games, trust me. The path to your soul.
Head on!
There it is. The heart of the wound. The source of all the evil that has been wrought here over the last 100 years. It all began here. And we will end it here. If Aurilu Voralesh had never opened the world wound, I would never have ended up on Galarian. I would never have met Desna. Or you. I would never have embarked on the path of good. This invasion has killed so many innocent people. But it has also led to my redemption. It means my freedom has been bought with thousands of innocent lives. But I will do everything in my power to help you close this abomination so that no one else has to die.
Yeah, what are you gonna do after we win?
I now have a dream of my own. I will pursue it. I did not do it alone. You have led your army to victory, and me? It's not about guilt. I am ready.
That was awkward. Hug Aigu. Oh. Alright, whatever. We're fine. Let's just go in. Sing the Song of Elysium again. Yeah, we're just gonna stick with our normal route. always find it funny that in final battles against like the ultimate evil, you're only still allowed to take in the few people that you would normally keep in a party. And it's like, I brought everybody with me. Why don't we all go? The game's like, you can only take 6. And I'm like, why?
All this waiting bores me. Onward!
Because that's all they balance the game for. Nocticula. I do not belong to you, and neither will my victory. What do you want from me? Yeah, if you truly desire victory, why don't you join the battle yourself? Why? You're doing perfectly well on your own. Of course. Alright, I'm going. In the past, you have rejected my profane gift. But the situation is different now. You face a dangerous enemy, and you will need all the help you can get. So for the first time in many ages of my existence, I will offer my patronage a second time. You spurned me once, but now I will ask you again. If you accept my power, I will protect you during your fight against Aurelia. If you refuse, you'll face her alone and die. What is your choice? What is a profane gift?
Every succubus can bestow her dark patronage upon whomever she likes. My magic will enter your being and enhance your already exceptional abilities. It will also allow me to watch over you, and, if you are in mortal peril, help you. It will not make me your guardian demon, but you can expect to receive some aid from me. There is one more aspect to a profane gift. It allows the succubus to affect the mind of whoever is under her protection.
No thanks. Nocticula falls silent, and I hear the voice of Iomade. You've made the right choice. Your soul has the strength and fortitude to cast aside what the Lady in Shadows lies about. There is hope for you yet. I wish you good fortune, Crusader. Go forth and do what must be done. Receive the item Darkness Caress. The fuck is that? Headband of Perfection 8 allows the wearer to add their charisma bonus to all damage dealt with ranged weapons. Plus 10 charisma. Now she adds plus 10 to all damage with her ranged weapons. Sick. I'm cool with that.
I'm losing my temper. No one stands in my way.
My will is resolute.
Move out.
Oh, I have to fight through waves of people just to get to her too? Lame. Alright, well I'm gonna have to rebuff when I get over there then.
Make every strike count.
Into the fray! The light, take you!
I will bring down the divine wrath.
Let's hear you cry.
Make your peace.
I move. Walk, please. Or don't. Okay, I'm just gonna lose control of this fight. That's good.
Eternal Rose, I call upon you. You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Run them through!
I will.
You won't survive me.
Let's move already. Head on! I am superior!
Endure this.
Out of my way!
Prepare yourself.
Begone, fiend!
Okay. Perfect.
The Inheritor, guide my blade!
Make every strike count.
I lead, you follow.
I'm glad I was useful to you.
Onwards!
It's a big map.
Let me help.
What's that? Zorges?
Desna, guide my hand.
Let's hear you cry!
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Make your peace.
Run them through!
Well, I crit him for 315. Jesus Christ. I guess that's what I get for having a crit of like times 5.
Move out!
the fray!
I will resist!
Die!
Fall!
You won't survive me.
The light take you!
I finished here. Is there more?
Yeah, it's like, I'm gonna have to run through that here in a sec.
Let's hear you cry!
Alright, just fucking run. Just go.
Run them through!
I will bring down the divine wrath!
No glory without risk!
Endure this!
Prepare yourself!
Into the fray!
Desna, guide my hand!
Out of my way! Head on!
Ulbrich heal up here for a second. How long does that last? Oh, another 5 seconds. Big whoop. The way they ragdoll. Yeah, man.
I lead, you follow.
Together, we stand.
The world has suffered enough.
Make sure Ivu's fully healed because Ivu doesn't get regen like everyone else does. Everybody?
Call upon you!
This is a really awkward camera angle. Ugh. Barf.
The Inheritor, guide my blade!
Make your peace.
Die!
Make every strike count! Begone, fiend!
No glory without risk!
I will resist!
Let's hear you cry.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Into the fray!
Prepare yourself!
Run them through!
You won't survive me.
The Inheritor, guide my blade! This will leave a bruise.
Man, what is their plus to hit? Jesus Christ. Because she has like 50 armor class and they are not missing.
Desna, guide my hand!
Out of my way!
Endure this! Fall!
The light, take you! I'm all right. I'm all right.
Make your peace.
Die!
Alright. Just relax for a few. Let my guys heal up. I get the feeling that we're almost there because the map is almost like mapped out. Boy, am I ready for this game to be over, huh? That being said, if we finish this before my normal stream start time, I guess I'll start up my next game. Funny enough, right before the final fight, there's another DLC dungeon. Yeah, I'm not doing that one.
Onwards!
Please, allow me. I finished here. Is there more?
What if I accidentally start it? I'll reload my save. Okay, the quivering pile of metal bears little resemblance to a living creature. The voice that addresses you is the only sign of its sentience. Identification process complete. Crusaders recognized. Crusaders are enemies of Arilu Vorlesh. Initiating protocol. Communication with potential ally. Step 1. Request. Crusader, I ask that you attack and kill me. Why do you want me to kill you? Necessity. My existence sustains the energies and the integrity of the Threshold Fortress. The Threshold Fortress protects Arilu Vorlesh. My existence sustains the enemies of my order. My existence must be terminated. Obstacle. Existing protocol. Self-destruction prohibited. Self-defense is permitted. If you attack me, you will activate my self-defense protocols. I will defend myself. I will be destroyed in battle. This scenario fulfills my objective. I do not contradict existing protocols. In conclusion, the Crusaders need to reach the most secure areas of the Threshold Fortress. My death will cause the collapse of the defenses. Therefore, the Crusaders must terminate my existence in order to achieve their objective. Risk assessment. My death may cause some of the fortress's exterior structures to collapse and may become difficult to return to the entrance of the fortress. Who are you? Emeslin. Creature type inevitable. Status prisoner. Objective termination. Explain to me in detail what will happen if you die. Chaos will prevail. What? The defensive and load-bearing magical structures that sustain the integrity of the threshold will be destroyed. There's a high risk that the fortress exterior walls will collapse. However, my death will also destroy the defenses around the heart of the threshold where Arilu Vorlesh is situated. The heart of the threshold is the heart of the world wound. This location is currently inaccessible to the Crusaders, therefore my termination is required. Okay, attack. Thank you, ally. It would be an honor to die in battle.
It's either us or them.
Free Emeslin.
Let's hear you cry!
72 armor class. It's another one of these fucking characters. An infinity hit points, infinity armor class.
I will resist.
Deals a billion damage per hit. Good luck.
Make every strike count.
Into the fray!
Run them through!
Prepare yourself.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
The Inheritor, guide my blade!
I will bring down the divine wrath.
Out of my way!
Could you imagine if my character couldn't hit that? If I was like a tank fighter, like Sela, like a paladin that only had like plus 20 to hit instead of plus 50, we'd never beat these things.
Move out!
Oh my god, there's another section of this whole map.
head on!
Okay.
I lead. You follow. Onwards! Battles await.
Something about this place feels strange and oppressive. The air is still and silent, and you can hear the distant echoes of words, promises, and battle cries. You strain to hear what's being said, but you can only make out a few words. Finally, cease, sorcerer, I promise.
Can't be dismissed as a calculation error. You knew failure was a possibility. Then why? Why?
I need answers.
Yes, it's decided. I will tell you the truth before we fight to the death. Would you like to know why I upended your life?
Can you knock yourself out? A villain monologuing in her evil stronghold. Wouldn't want to miss that.
This place is my demi-plane. I created it when I was a prisoner in Threshold. I would slip away to conduct my rituals here in secret. This is where I decided to create what mortals would later call the World Wound. This is where I made all my preparations. Do you understand?
No.
Escaping was never my goal. I could have easily disappeared from Threshold. I could have passed through it like water through sand. Some believe that I brought Sarkoris to ruin out of revenge. And there is some truth to that. I had reason to take revenge. You didn't listen to my words in Iz, and you didn't find a way into the secret part of my laboratory. Otherwise, you would know what I'm talking about. My laboratory. The old house in the middle of nowhere that marked the entrance to my lab. It was the home of Arilu Vorlesh when I was still a mere mortal. I lived there with my son, away from the din of the crowd, and sheltered from the keen gaze of the Sarkorian witch hunters. It was a place where the reality of our world was in close proximity to the abyss, a place where I could study the magic forbidden to all Sarkorians. I thought I had hidden my home well, but I was wrong. They found it. They found us. At that hour, I was there, in the laboratory. That damned laboratory I loved so much. I was absorbed in one of my experiments when the hunters arrived on our doorstep. I was sitting at my desk, recording my observations, thoughts, and calculations, as was my habit. That's when I heard the noise outside. The fight was brief. It barely lasted a moment. By the time I sensed that something was amiss and hurried out to see what was happening, it was too late. All I could do was cradle the body of my dead child and cry after their departing soul. I promise.
Well, okay. Nothing can justify killing a child.
I am not concerned with whether it was justified or not, or with the application of morality, the law, or the teachings of any god. Look around you. This demi-plane. The first time I escaped from my cell and ran here, I was trying to resurrect my son. I tried many things, but all my efforts were in vain. The soul had already received Pharasma's judgment, and had been sent on the path determined by the gods. Into the abyss. And when I realized that, I rebelled. But not against my jailers. Not against those who had murdered my child. Not even against Sarkoris. My uprising was against destiny. Death, and the laws that the gods had forced upon our lives. I realized then that I wouldn't be satisfied with simply returning my son to life. I had to shatter this order once and for all, and make it so that neither Pharasma and her lackeys nor death itself could ever stand between us. Only by stepping beyond the bounds of what had been ordained for mortal kind, by obtaining powers that rivaled the divine, could we become free. And with this newfound purpose, I turned myself into a half-demon. Fusing the spiritual essence of the two planes was the only way I could achieve my goal. I let the abyss into my soul, and into this world. I opened the world wound. I danced around 3 demon lords, making them assist me without ever revealing my true intentions. They just believed they were dealing with another power-hungry mortal. But in reality, I was after one thing. I wanted to find what was left of my son's soul and give him a new birth. One that would prevent anything from ever harming him again. And then I found you. I chose you because I felt a faint affinity to you. I thought your soul could accept the remains of my son's soul, like the soil takes a seed. I thought I could bring back my child by tethering the mangled remnants of his soul to a pure mortal soul untouched by the abyss. I thought the power of the Nahindrian crystals would allow me to protect him forever. That I could tear him away from the dominion of mortal nature. But I was mistaken in both assumptions. Now I'm about to face the consequences of my mistake. You will witness them as well.
None shall escape!
Weird. It looked like I had almost leveled up Mythic, but whatevs.
You won't survive me.
Die!
Desna, guide my hand.
There are other ways out. Shit. Who did I pass? Social. That's not the end of the world.
Endure that.
Let's hear you cry!
Make your peace.
Get everybody except Sela. Good enough.
Make every strike count.
Run them through!
I will resist.
No glory without risk!
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Out of my way!
Prepare yourself!
All this waiting bores me.
Oh, hey, now I'm mythicked up. Cancel. Beat. Improved critical mythic. The multiplier is increased by 1. Toughness now provides you with twice as many hit points. In addition, when you are below 0 hit points, you gain damage reduction 10 versus epic. When using your chosen weapon, you gain a bonus equal to half your mythic rank on damage rolls. This stacks with the bonus from weapon specialization and greater weapon specialization. Yeah, let's do that. So I'll hit even harder. My superpower should be... I gain a bonus equal to their mythic rank on all skill checks, and whenever I make a skill check, I roll the dice twice and take the better result. I also become proficient with all types of weapons and armor. I guess we'll take that one. Whenever the enemy makes a saving throw against my spells, they roll the dice twice and take the worst result. When I make a concentration check or check to overcome spell resistance, I roll twice and take the better result. If I cast a spell whose description says its successful saving throw halves its damage, it only decreases it by 25% instead. I think I'll go with all skilled. I just get extra chances to roll everything. We'll do that. Okay. A level 4 spell. It's animal aspect greater. Oh, dude, let's fucking go. Cappy's the king. Or the queen, I guess. The goat. Yeah, there you go. Constricting coils. Oh, I don't want that. Next. Euphoric tranquility. I guess waves, because power word sucks. I do have mythic toughness already. So we'll do that. Deadly aim mythic. improved initiative mythic, I guess. Social. I guess toughness on you. Maruchale. Toughness on her. Chat can hear you. Mythic resolve, power attack, weapon focus. I already did claw. So let's go with, I guess, improved critical with claw. Alright, let's heal for a sec. Now we're going outside. Somehow. How many epic boss fights am I gonna have here? I hope not. That's 2.
You should not have come here. I, Arilu Vorlesh, the one you called the Betrayer, have nothing to offer you but death. Karamzadeh, I will give you the chance to avenge your death. Rise.
Curse you, mortal scum! You have struck ice into my heart. I will devour your souls to loosen its freezing grip.
Let's prove their logic is lacking.
Oh dear God. Fucking great. How come I can't move? Because Bullshit is not on my bar. I can't control this fight. I can't control this fight because Bullshit does not appear on my bar, so I just have to let the characters do what they're gonna do. Jesus.
You had your chance. Retreat is not an option. Out of my sight.
This quest is actually called The End. I swear to God if you're lying to me.
The mortal who ventured recklessly into the abyss has now reached threshold. In Iz, you struck down my creator and master, Discari. But if that makes you dismissive of his echo, if you think I do not pose a threat, then you are greatly mistaken. No, I'm not afraid of your threats. He lost to you. He lost. The great Discari himself lost to a mortal. So what happens if I succeed where the great lord failed? If an echo destroys the one its originator could not defeat, who would that make me?
You won't survive me. Die!
Oh my God.
Let's hear you!
It fucking mounted.
Desna, get my hand!
Great.
Eternal Rose, I call upon you!
I love it when the game dismounts you for no reason.
Endure this!
Oh, do I have multiple pages? Is that what's happening with the other guy?
Run them through!
Make your peace.
Search for the beauty with your heart,
Oh my
not
God.
your eyes.
There must be some hotkey that makes me do that.
No one stands in my way.
I guess we won't go that way. That looks dangerous.
Onwards!
This is where it happened. It was here that I conducted the ritual, sewing my soul and the essence of the abyss together, feeling the world change around me as every stitch brought Galarian closer to the abyss. And it was here that even though you have no memory of it, I did the same to your soul. A researcher must not have any personal feelings for the subjects of their experiments. And yet, I find myself unable to remain completely detached from the world wound. I created it. I allowed it to be. It holds a place in my heart, even if I'm slowly paying for it with my life. A researcher must be particularly resilient in the face of mistakes, incorrect hypotheses, and failed experiments. You are my failed experiment. I think I'll feel some regret for ending your current life. But you can rest assured that such sentiments will not stop me.
I can tell you prepared this place for battle, but there's more to it, am I right? I sense barrier spells waiting to be activated, and there's something else.
You're so adept at magic. Of course, I've been preparing for our meeting. And hopefully I've prepared well.
Yeah, you've merged remnants of your son's soul with mine. What do you want? Why do you want to harm me?
If a hypothesis is proven wrong, it needs to be rejected. But the research process does not stop there. That is all I can tell you right now.
You've been carrying the wound in your soul for a long time. Does that mean you'll die soon?
It will kill me eventually. But I still have some time left. Years. Or decades, perhaps. But it doesn't matter. One of us will die today.
And what happens if one of us steps into the wound?
The tearing of the soul, followed by a cruel and terrible death. But it will likely be quick.
Alright. Time to fight.
Yes. It was bound to happen. Death is not the end. I have spent 100 years trying to prove it, and I will not stop now. This experiment was unsuccessful, but that just means I need to adjust the initial conditions and try again. I am still alive. I still have time. You, the current you, will have to die, but only to surrender the soul you share with my son. I will start over. This time I will do everything differently. I will work with even greater precision. I will turn the world upside down if I must. I promise.
'61 armor class, of course. Because why should we be able to hit the enemy?
Make every strike count.
Out of my way!
The light take you!
I will resist!
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
God damn it.
Let's hear you cry.
I never thought that I would be responsible for the creation of my most powerful enemy.
I can see you, Suture. Show yourself.
I've been waiting for you to get distracted, so I can stab you in the back.
I've uncovered your plan. The spells in this chamber, they are designed to kill you if something goes wrong. You've been preparing for this outcome from the start.
How very perceptive. But you didn't think I would make it easy, did you? I won't let you win. You need me alive. You want to use me to close the wound, but I can destroy myself before you have a chance.
I'll stop you by force if necessary, so don't embarrass yourself with these pathetic attempts to prevent the inevitable.
Fine. Let's say I don't destroy myself. What happens now? You are stronger than I could have anticipated. As your creator, I should be proud to be defeated by the one I have imbued with power. Is there any higher praise? But I'm tired. You won't hear me pleading. Let us finish this experiment here and now.
It's over. You will now give your life to help heal the world wound you created.
Here are my last words. I regret nothing.
Destroy Arilu and sacrifice the island to close and heal the wound. It's time to end the life of one and give the way to many others. Somewhere beyond the walls of this cursed prison, you can feel a gust of wind. A wave of power follows in its wake. It nourishes and revitalizes everything in its path. The rain that revives the roots of a forest after a severe drought. The arrival of the wave dissolves the silhouette of Arilu, the witch and the creator of the world wound, just as swiftly. The tongues of violent flame, the outline of a giant rift, and the edges of the wound in your chest all fade away. My dude in the background, I require rest. Life and death, destiny and great deeds, answers to mysteries, the search for one's true path. The mind can comprehend all of these, and then such concepts can be written down. As a sequence of formulas, a series of lines, a chain of thought. Still, a moment always comes when it's time to wrap up, to reach a conclusion, to put a period at the end of the last sentence. The impossible rift, the bleeding wound that had tormented all of Galarian for 100 years, finally healed. The life and soul of the one who once inflicted the wound upon the world has become the salve. With the death of Arilu Warlash, the world wound she had created has vanished as well. After the victory, the commander took Elysium up on its invitation and paid a short visit to the Wondrous Plain. Few were privy to all the details of the journey, but the tales of all the manner of marvels, such as the incredible dances of the Azadas, flights across the skies with a flock of havoc dragons, and feasts in the company of more fascinating beings. The Fifth Crusade may not have lasted long, but in that short time, Dresden became the commander's city, his bulwark, and his citadel. Unsurprisingly, he remained the ruler of the city and the surrounding lands after the spectacular victory as Threshold. The winds of Elysium became a harbinger of renewal for the lands of the former wound. The corruption-torn wastes became lush once more. Where the lava lakes once steamed, there grew groves of towering trees. Some of the vegetation seems to have come straight from a dream. The rejuvenated lands became a beautiful garden, an inspiration for dreamers. Lovers and poets would go there to watch the moon rise through the sparkling waters or to catch the reflection of the stars in the streams. It's still going. The Free Crusaders did not stay for long. Their main goal had been achieved, but there were still plenty of places left in the world where injustice was rampant, where courage and imagination were needed. The tree guy and his treants had their branches full. They had to take care of the new, rapidly growing forests. During his time as a Free Crusader, he came to understand and even love city custom in his own way. He often dropped by Dresden and even officially adopted all the teenagers from the commander's court, and he cared for them just as selflessly as if they were his own trees. The fate of the Mimic Crusaders was the most astonishing as all. They formed their own knightly order, then changed their mind and decided to become pirates, then settled on being pirate knight acrobats. They sailed the seas on a massive ship, quite possibly also another Mimic, singing shanties, juggling cutlasses, saving beautiful damsels, and on rare occasions, boarding someone they didn't like. Ivu would visit her family in Elysium, but nothing could make her part her way with her best friend for long. I go where you go was her motto. Much later, all grown up, Ivu went off on her own adventures. She traveled the plains, bravely helping good souls in distress, and of course seeking out places where they baked the best cookies. Although the commander became the symbol of the Fifth Crusade, there were still those among the Crusaders who were dissatisfied with his decisions. Years later, their words served as a basis for many alternate versions of the history and struggle of the Whirlwind. With the conclusion of the war, Dresden and the heroic fortress of the Crusaders began to wane in importance. The memories of the gruesome battles faded and the deeds of the brave were forgotten. A mere century later, Dresden had once again become just another northern garrison, and the legacy of the Fifth Crusade began to slip into obscurity. Queen Galfrey returned to Nerosian with the intent to rule Mendev as before, but as it turned out, Mendevian society was hungry for change. The war-ravaged nation desired new leadership, but the queen would not countenance yielding her authority to anyone else. She believed her duty to her homeland had not yet been fulfilled. Quite a few Mendevians wanted to see Darren Andrade inherit the throne. Upon his return to Canabras, Ramian did all he could to heal the wounds left by the war. The city saw an influx of pilgrims who wanted to choose to the glory of the Crusaders, wanted to be close to the glory of the Crusaders. Although those pilgrims were followed by spies, criminals, and cultists, the Eagle Watch was barely able to keep up with the cloak and dagger war that broke out in the city's underground. The wardstones from the chain that had once guarded the borders of Mendev were carefully disassembled one by one. The angels that had been trapped inside returned to heaven to heal their wounded spirits and prepare new battles against evil. The victory over the Whirlwind changed many things, not just on Galarian, but in the Midnight Isles as well. Nocticula spent many days pondering the words of a certain young fearless prophet. Before long, the Lady in Shadow openly renounced her realm and named herself the Redeemer Queen. This revolt against her own demonic nature transformed her, severed her ties to the Abyss, and brought her to Elysium. Thereupon creating the realm named Midnight Palette, the Redeemer Queen attained divine power and became the patroness of exiles. The now vacant throne was instantly seized by Shamira, the Ardent Dream. However, her power could not compare to the might of the Lady in Shadow. The Midnight Isles, which had become a tempting common prize for demons, was plunged into chaos. The demon lord Baphomet suffered a defeat, the world wound was closed, and the convenient passage to Galarian was sealed along with it. Baphomet shifted his attention to the realms of other demon lords. A cell to the Templar of the Ivory Labyrinth was soon discovered in Alashinria. With the ineluctable prison destroyed, the power of the Lord of the Labyrinth began to wane. Many demon lords turned their attention to the weakened Baphomet, who was forced to defend his title as demon lord in battles for which he was not prepared. The demon lord Tiscari suffered a defeat. He bided his time, continued to plot his invasion of Galarian, and after that, of heaven itself. The cultists that remained on Galarian went mad one after another, tortured by the nightmarish dreams their lord had sent to them. The commander's escapades in Alashinria left a lasting impression on its denizens. Under Zeklik's management, the battle bliss gradually fell into decline. Audiences had grown bored of ordinary gladiator fights, and the Nahadran League closed due to lack of members. Realizing that his talents in the arena's steward would never be appreciated in the Abyss, Zeklik sold the Battle Bliss and used the proceeds to relocate to Hell, where he finally found himself a home. The flesh markets had been ravaged, but it proved impossible to completely destroy them. After the commander left, new slavers took over the stalls, and new shipments of slaves were changed to the platforms. Kristoff, the envoy of the Pathfinder Society, took advantage of the situation and rose to the top of the slave trade. He sold demons to other demons and used the proceeds to buy the freedom of mortal slaves. He soon founded the Pathfinder Lodge in the Abyss. Despite numerous attempts to cut down, uproot, or burn the tree growing on the site of the ravaged flesh markets, nothing worked. It continued to grow in the heart of Alushinria. Oh god, its roots going deep into the island. Some demons worried that one day the roots would grow through the Ishiar into the Maelstrom and sunder the plane of the Abyss. The unrelenting killer and vigilante known as Red Mask continued her purge of Alushinria and assembled a squad of Asamar assassins. Demons enjoyed listening to stories of their bloody exploits, that is, until the assassins came to collect their heads. Life returned to Pelura's fall. The rushing river, awakened by the commander's power, washed over the wasteland and swept away the burial grounds surrounding the temple. When the water had ebbed, pilgrims began to arrive at the temple, wishing both to worship Pelura and honor the memory of the fallen defenders who had held the line in obscurity for over a century. The lake by the temple gate was always held the reflection of a starry sky, even during daylight. And at night, if anybody were to stand on the shore, they would hear an enchanting melody and distant bewitching singing. Gesmersha was true to her word. The Wintersun clan left the lands of the ancestors. Once they had left the borders of the former Sarkoris, the clan split into several branches. One went to the wildlands of Numeria, the other went to free Varissia. A small group led by Gesmerha chose to travel to Andoran, where they were lost among many refugees fleeing other lands and other wars. The Wintersun clan ceased to be. Now alone, Anivia left quietly unnoticed, leaving no notes or traces. This is going to go on for a long time. You pause the YouTube video that will be out and read it. Oh my god. I didn't memorize every NPC in the past 200 hours and want to know their ending? No, not really.
And what of me, the writer of these words? The half-demon witch known as the architect of the world wound. I was defeated and fell at the hand of the one I had tried to transform. My experiment ended in failure, and my life ended along with it. I have recounted the story of my life for you, Pharasma, Lady of Graves. Not only of my life, but of the Commander's also. I believed the tale of such an illustrious figure would pique even a goddess's curiosity. Now you know everything. I await your verdict, goddess.
Silence hangs over the boneyard, and the Lady of Graves is weighing her decision. It seems that the entire universe is holding its breath, awaiting her pronouncement. Who would dare break the silence so absolute? I'll let Pharasma do it.
You wrought great evil, while it stemmed from the evil that was done to you. Your actions far exceeded it. Your soul is dark, and there is only one place for you in the universe. I shall send you to the Abyss, plane of pain and fury, suffering and privation. That which you have done to others will now be done to you. So be it.
Real. Do not put a question mark at the end of that.